This has been a tough week for Gen X and baby boomer music fans as two icons and music innovators died this week. Sly Stone, who ushered in the emergence of funk music, and Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys pretty much defined what California would look and sound like for many. Both men outlived so many of their contemporaries and the artists they would go on to inspire. Stone and Wilson's creativity would only be rivaled by their legendary drug use. It's still a surprise they were able to live until their 80s. The passing of these trailblazers is a reminder that while death is certain, time is precious. We should see this as an indication that a certain era of musical prosperity and ingenuity has passed and won't be returning. AI, streaming, the ubiquity of social media, combined with the closing of several smaller music venues, might be the conditions that, along with Father Time, is the dirt on the casket of a certain type of pioneering spirit. The social and economic conditions that allowed artists to develop and even teach young people how to play an instrument have all but vanished from public education in the music industry. Artist development is a thing of the past. Nostalgia sells more than innovating new sounds. And while music may seem sonically diverse, it's not as different as people think. Country, pop, and R&B hits more often than not are in the same key and include the same chord progressions. So the only thing that separates the music is simply the packaging. This melancholic reflection of the passing of iconic figures causes me to ponder my own mortality. And as I get deeper into the back nine of life, I'm faced with my own physical shortcomings. One reason I don't attempt to pursue a career in music with the same fervor that I had years prior, I'm tired. I don't know if I want to hang upside down and scream until I spit blood for 47 people in Lawton, Oklahoma on a Tuesday for 35 bucks. Maybe I've sold out. Or maybe I've just moved on. There was a time that I saw no end in sight to follow my musical aspirations, but I fear that flame may have burned out. Maybe I'm just making peace with a phase in my life and moving in another, more meaningful direction. Who knows? Is my value based on what I am or what I produce? One man who continues to persevere while fighting against the clock is NFL quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers, who spent his best years with the Green Bay Packers, is approaching season number 21, and this will be his third NFL franchise as well. Will Steeler fans be treated to the MVP form Rodgers showed when he led the Green Bay Packers to the playoffs year after year? Or will they get the media circus version of Aaron Rodgers, who no longer makes headlines with his stellar play as much as he does with his conspiracy laden comments? Either way, history says this doesn't pan out too well for Rodgers or the Steelers. I'm old enough to remember the end of Joe Montana's career. After 4 Super Bowls in San Francisco, Montana was shipped off to Kansas City. Predicted as the final piece in the puzzle that would take KC from upstart to contender, the Montana miracle would never transpire. He was gone after 2 seasons. Jerry Rice, maybe the greatest player I ever watched, was able to have a Pro Bowl season among his 4 with Oakland after San Francisco deemed him too old for the money he wanted. But Rice would flame out after being cut by the Seattle Seahawks in the preseason. A great career, not ended on the terms by the legend, but in the cost effective terms of management. The Steelers are a team in search of an offensive identity after the retirement of their longtime starting quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, and also reminiscent of another Steeler great, Terry Bradshaw. After a dynastic run in the 70s, the Steelers of the 80s never had a signal caller that could take them to the next level until 2004 when Roethlisberger was drafted out of the University of Miami in Ohio. While they never matched the success of the 70s teams, they were great teams uh, for Big Ben's tenure. But is Rodgers a return to that greatness? If so, for how long will it be sustained with Rodgers at the helm? There is a saying that history doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. Will the Steelers have to wait 26 years until they win the Super Bowl again? Now, I would love to hear your thoughts on the Rodgers signing and whatever else you have on your mind. Mac